Hello my friends, Gary Goers and fellow poets, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at the brand new collection by Seán Hewitt, Rapture's Road. Wow. So let's not waste any time, let's just get straight into it. As many of you know, I've just returned from 4 days in Birmingham at the Verve Poetry Festival, where I picked up a number of books, one of them being this collection from Seán. Seán is one of, if not the most decorated poets that I've come across. Literally, let me just list off his accomplishments right now. So, he's a fellow of the Royal Society of Literature. In 2022, he was the winner of the Rooney Prize for Irish Literature, winner of the Laurel Prize in 2021. In 2021, he was also shortlisted for John Pollard Foundation International Poetry Prize for Tongues of Fire. In 2021, he was also shortlisted for the Dalkey Literary Award, Emerging Writer. In 2020, he was shortlisted for the Sunday Times Young Writer of the Year Award for Tongues of Fire. In 2020 he was also Poetry Books Society recommended for Tongues of Fire. In 2019 he won the Eric Gregory Award, and in 2019 he also won the Poetry Books Society Pamphlet Choice for Lantern. In 2019 he also won the medal of the Maurice J. Brick Medal of Excellence. In 2017 he won the Resurgence Prize, and in 2016 Northern Writers Award. Wow. So with all that being said, let's review the book. And by the way, this is a book review video. Sometimes I get some comments about why I'm talking about everything but the poetry. I like to do a full look and full review of the book as a whole rather than just the poetry. So if you just want to skip to the poetry part, which we will be discussing, feel free to skip ahead. So let's talk about the cover, as we always do. It's called Rapture's Road. So Seán was talking about this book at the festival, and he said that this is sort of, it does kind of take inspiration from the Rapture. So there's that, and I think you can kind of tell by the design itself. I don't think I've even shown you yet. So you've got the hand, which is also like in a holy pose, I guess. I don't know if I'm imagining that. It feels like a holy pose. And then you've got a snake coming out from the palm and wrapping around the fingers. And I believe we looked at a collection recently that, I believe it was Megan Fox's poetry. She's also got a snake, and that's obviously symbolic of sin and the devil, at least to my knowledge anyway. And then you've got the colours as well, so black, red on black should I say, which kind of lends itself to a bit of that sensuality and dark side of things, I think. But the back of the book are just some quotes, which I won't read out, but I will read the blurbs on the inside, I guess. I will read this real quickly. In this remarkable second collection, Seán Hewitt describes a journey haunted by love, loss, and estrangement. As the mind wanders and becomes spectral, these poems forge their own unique path through the landscape. The road Hewitt takes us on is a sleepwalk into the night woods, a dream state where nature is by turns regenerated and broken, and where the split self of the speaker is interrupted by a series of ghosts, memories, and encounters. Following the reciprocal relationship between queer sexuality and the natural world that he explored in Tongues of Fire, his first collection, the poet conjures us here into a trance, a deep delirium of hypnotic, hectic rapture, where everything is called into question until a union is finally achieved, a union in nature with nature. A threnody for what is lost, a dance of apocalypse and rebirth. Rapture's road draws us through what is hidden, secret, often forbidden, to a state of ecstasy. It leads into the humid night, through lethal love and grief and glimpses, at the end of the journey, a place of tenderness and reawakening. Oh, he's 2 years older than me. I've just read listed all his awards and stuff. There is an author bio on the other side, but I don't know that I'll read that because I've pretty much already done that. So yeah, that's the cover. I think it's nice. I mean, black is my favourite colour anyway, but I like the tone of it. I like I like what it's sort of introducing you to for the collection ahead. Okay, so next let's talk about the formatting and the design of the book. To begin with, let's just look at the text. So the font is your nice, formal, clean, trade standard time. It looks like Garamond. It could be Times, but you know, I like that font. I think sometimes you can try and be unique in that sense with the font, and maybe it works. Sometimes it doesn't, though. For example, when with DKMH, the font didn't quite do it for me, and I'm not entirely sure why. It just felt like a default font, which I'm sure wasn't the case. I'm sure the book designer thought it through, but for my taste, it didn't quite work. What I do really like about this book is that there's, again, my favourite colour is black. A lot of people think it's like doom and gloom colour, but I think it's quite classy. I think it's a sophisticated colour. I don't know, but at the beginning and end of the book, there's like a black page that sort of just welcomes you to the book, and then again at the back sends you on your way, which I thought was quite nice. I did manage to get this signed. at the festival. There is one small point, and it's not a huge issue for me in this collection, because the majority, you know what's coming. You know what's coming. No prizes or rewards if you've already guessed what I'm about to say. But I do say them in every video. I'm a one-man army, and I'll keep saying this until people are maybe thinking about it a bit more. But it's not such an issue for me in this collection, because the majority of the book is filled with text. But there's one or two pages that have shorter poems. I think we could probably have got another poem on here, and I know everyone talks about how the space is part of the poem. It's just not for me. For me, I would have liked to have seen another shorter poem sharing the space with Snows. But as I say, it's not a huge, like, I'm not throwing my toys out of the pram on this one, because the majority of the book is filled with text. So I just about notice it. It almost went under my radar. It almost never made it into the book, but it's just a small thing. So that's really all I have for formatting. It's a very clean, tidy, sophisticated book design. Who was the book designer? Let me just quickly give them a shout out as well. First published in the United Kingdom by Jonathan Cape. Typeset in 11/13 point Bembo book, MT Pro by Juve. Printed and bound by TJ Books. I don't see who the book designer was. Not sure. But those are the credits. Credit where credit's due. So let's talk about the poetry. Now, who am I to comment on such a decorated poet's work? What I will say is, in terms of reading poetry, and I know a lot of my subscribers are new to poetry, just keep in mind that this is probably in the upper echelon of poetry writing, so you will have to really kind of, with a lot of these pieces, you will have to really sit down, as I've talked about on the channel, sit down and kind of work out what's being said and read it line by line, which, you know, is an acquired taste, much like drinking beer. Some people, they don't want to do it, but the more you do it, the more you will enjoy it as you sort of unlock the different treasure chests of each poem. So I will say that, keep that in mind, that it's more advanced poetry. I mean, of course it is. The guy's won all these awards. He's a lecturer at a university, of which I'm not entirely sure. I believe it's in Ireland, though. Do your research, Adam. But yeah, just keep that in mind. So instead, what I will do, I'm going to read some of my favourite poems in this book. Now, when I first bought this collection, it was just before an event. I was 3 hours early, which if you watch my live streams you would have heard me talk about. I was 3 hours early and I picked this up, as well as Self-Portrait of Othello, because there was an event about those books that evening. And I started reading this in the waiting area, the sitting area. And when I got to this poem, I couldn't help but, my jaw dropped. I couldn't help it. I had no control of my jaw. It just dropped, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. Now, unfortunately, all my fellow poets will be like, no, stick it to the man, stick it to the man. But I can't risk, the way YouTube has been treating the channel lately, I can't risk being demonetized again and what have you. So I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to read it on camera in the video. But I will tell you the title of it, and if you can find it, or even better yet, I'll leave a link to buy this book in the comment section and description. Buy it, but just content warning, it's a tough read. But it's called We Didn't Mean to Kill Mr. Flynn, and he did read it, Sean did read it at the festival as well. But it was a tough read, and I was very shocked and I couldn't believe what I was reading, and it's incredibly powerful. And I know that I know that's probably not fair of me to say all that and then not read it on camera, but YouTube will come down on me hard if I did, unfortunately. As much as I would love to, and as much as I agree that stuff like that should be voiced, but I can't risk any more sort of demonetizations and stuff like that. But what I will read is a lovely poem that really touched me, and I hope I'm pronouncing the word right. Again, do some research, Adam, but I believe it's called Alcyone. Yes, it was a kingfisher, like a rip in the years-old fabric, flown, though the word doesn't catch its flight, its spear of water, a thrown blade of superior light, so come and go it almost wasn't there at all. At So Brook, New Year's Eve, bare, grey, the day dissipated. Irretrievable, then this. All morning my mother had cried in the bath as I held her hand, submerged in grief's deep water, and him not here to lift her out. Nights of no rest, her hours spent walking in the house of sleep, searching all the lamp-lit rooms for his face. In other years I might have made the leap here from the bird's blue electric to Alcyone, broken by her husband's death, who plunged herself into water but was granted by the gods the mercy of flight. But now I have stepped clear of the world's indifferent healing. The image, all beauty, stalls at the mind's dulled synapse. Nothing left to say except that the bird flashed by. Yes, like a rod from heaven. It passed beyond our vision, and the sweet water burned at its touch. Did you fall in love before you met my father? What shames have kept you awake? Did you ever regret your life? Mother, I do not remember your first word to me, nor the first time I cried for you, nor when first I gripped my fist around your tiny finger. Mother, forgive me. I do not remember meeting you. I may have read 2 poems there. I'm not sure. Or it's the same poem in 2 parts. So yeah. Forgive me if I read 2 poems there instead of just the one. And then finally, the last poem I'm going to read to you that I really liked is only a couple pages after that, and it's called Pleated Ink Caps. Pleated Ink Caps. I'm walking in the garden, barefoot, a dream, perhaps, strange light. And all these blooms of glass, nocturnal, are lifting from the soil, shivering upwards on their milky stalks. Ghosts, too, rise like this. I have chosen one life, interred countless other selves. The garden is like a god, with a flowering mouth. And that's Rapture's Road. I know that wasn't the most in-depth review. It probably wasn't even a review. That might be a bit generous, calling it a review. More of an overview, I guess, than a review. Overview. Anyway, Seán is a poet I've just discovered through the festival, so I'm still sort of going through it a little bit. I admittedly was very much behind on my to-do list after taking 4 days out. Just having those 4 days out has left me with a huge mountain backlog of things I need to get on with. So also I didn't come back until late Sunday, and I normally post on Tuesdays, so perhaps I've scrambled this video a little bit quickly, which perhaps is quite unfair to Seán and this book. But yeah, if you haven't discovered Seán Hewitt yet, then definitely go ahead and do a Google search, grab this book, and grab his first collection as well. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, I would really appreciate it if you showed some appreciation by hitting that like button. It only takes a couple of seconds and is completely free, but it really does help me out. It helps the channel grow and just shows YouTube that, you know, what I'm doing is worth promoting, I guess. If you want to see more poetry content, then go ahead and click that subscribe button. We're an all poetry content channel, which includes book reviews, and sometimes overviews, I guess. We also have live stream conversations between poets and discuss all sorts of poetry related things. We have how-to videos, we have Let's Chat, where we've spoken about Taylor Swift's poetry, Elvis's poetry, and much more. And of course we even have ghost hunting videos too. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Finally, if you have read this book and have some comments and further feedback, then go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below so we can all open discussion and review the book together. Finally, goodness gracious me, I am traversing the underworld once more and am back on Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Adam Gary Poetry. It would be awesome if you followed me. I used to have a 10,000 follower account. Now I'm starting all over again. So please do follow me on there and check out my website adamgary.co.uk, where you can buy my book and also some channel merch as well. So that's everything. I'm Adam Gary and I have more books than I have shelf space for. See you in the next video.